Welcome back to Caribbean Lifestyle TV. My special guest is Sam Kruiner, who is the coordinator of Caribbean Pavilion at the Summer Fancy Food Show, which was held at Jacob Javits. And of course, he's part of a wider organization, Caribbean Export, which is the Caribbean Export Development Agency, which is like the grant underwriter of this whole endeavor. The countries participating here are all part of the CARIFORUM group, part of CARICOM, and primarily they showcase their food and food packaging and stuff. Participating in this entity now for the past 56 years. It's been running. Caribbean countries have been participating for just about 17 years.
17 years, yes.
17 years.
Yes, yeah.
17 years. And of course, it's an opportunity to showcase our products. Some of the main players there we had, as we mentioned before, we had the Grace Kennedys of the world, we had Honey Bun Limited, we had companies like Jamaican Jerk, Jamaican Yard Style, Jumper was there, Jay's Enterprises out of Barbados, KC Confectionery, and they're out of Trinidad. Yeah. We had Local Spice, which is an entity out of Jamaica again. And of course, the Matooks, you know, all know about Matooks. Then there was Serena's Winery.
Right.
And that one is out of Belize?
No, that one's from Suriname.
Suriname, sorry.
Right.
And of course, we have Susie's Hot Sauce, my favorite. That's the yellow sauce you see on your table. Yellow, but it's really red hot. And of course, we had the Caribbean Liquid Sugar out of Santo Domingo.
Yes.
We were talking just now about the whole packaging and what's appealing and what sells. A particular company out of Jamaica went on the marketplace here in the States with their packaging, which when you go to the market, when you go to the shelf, one could easily believe it's mainstream. All right? Because the packaging was quite different than what we're used to. All right? How powerful is that? And what is it? What do we lose and what do we gain in a situation like that?
It starts with actually, or it depends on where the company wants to position their products. Having your product food product into the market, it depends predominantly on where you want to be. Look, take water. Water, you can sell water in a simple plastic bottle, and you ask $2 for a bottle of water, and that's okay. Putting in some fancy bottle, which is with a different type of cap and so forth, and you can ask $10 for it. It depends on where you want to position your product.
And the market you want.
And the market you want.
Demographics, yeah.
The demographics. With certain products, you have a level of ethnicity, but also a level of authenticity with respect to related to Amazon and Spring and those kind of things when it comes to, for instance,
or just basic tap water.
This basic tap water.
Yeah.
So it is a matter of when it comes to those kind of positioning in the market. It's a matter of understanding how the market works. It's a matter of your presentation, your product, and your pricing.
Because you see, Sam, this is it too, you know. Big fish in a small pond.
Right.
Or big fish in a small pond or small fish in a big pond.
Correct.
Because the level of how you target the ethnicity of the product, it can hold you back.
Correct.
Or it can position you for that particular market.
Correct.
So again, it depends on, as you said, where you juxtapose
it depends on it. And sometimes you can, it's just like having the same hot sauce in different bottles, as like the example of the water, but also having the same sauce with a slightly less pepper and with more ginger. And
to cater to a particular
this particular market. It really depends. And companies that are serious are studying that.
So we're serious about it.
We have serious companies working about it. One of them that has been very successful is Boucher Brown.
Okay, yes.
Walker's Wood has also been on the list of successful company. Fortunately, unfortunately, I say that in both cases because it's both of them coming from Jamaica. So it's not that the rest of the region is not working, but Jamaicans are known as to be really hard workers and trying to get things happening. And both of these companies have been successful in that regard. So it is, being in the business of the food business, you need to be serious. You need to be very serious. You need to be focused and need to be in the business. You need to breathe it day and night because it requires a lot of energy. a lot of input with respect to finance, but also knowledge that you have to put in the market, or to generate knowledge about the market. And therefore, I mean, look at this. Many of our products that are being sold in the U.S. market and being imported by the distributors, often when they have the show, they show up the first day and look up and speak to the suppliers of these products. They're not buying their products, and they told me for years now, is that they're not buying the products unless it's been marketed and sold in the region. At this show that we have over the last 16, 17 years, people shouldn't think that when the products are being presented, that even if you're a new one, that the first year you will hit the jackpot. 9 out of 10, actually 9.5 out of 10 times it won't work. You have to show sustainability. You should have to show that you're really serious about the market. So usually what happens is that the importer distributor is looking at, are you selling the product in the local market? What is your market share? How are you doing there? How serious are you? Then he's looking at how many times you've been consistent in coming to the show. And third thing that he's looking at before he even, or while he's signing his first order with you, is that he will visit your plant.
Well, let me answer this now. Do you think that we have want to say, capitalized on our tourism position? Because you see, for me, I look at it from this perspective,
right,
that our products can add value from the tourist product, meaning that the guy the tourist comes into our region and they enjoy what we have.
Correct.
How do we allow the product to travel with the person into that?
There is not enough linkages. There's not a strong enough linkage between the food and the tourism. Tourism is mostly seen as a nice hotel, beach, sun, and you know, some free time, leisure time. But the food thing, which all the tourists enjoy when they come across, is not sufficiently. The link is not sufficiently being developed. And that is what we need, is that when it comes to, and that we are trying to introduce that during this year's show, is to show Jamaica, you know, how is Jamaican life. You have some videos they are showing there about the whole tourism, people coming in, and they recognize the beaches and Jamaica. The same with Barbados, with their beaches and what they have to offer, Trinidad and so forth. We're trying to develop a linkage, and in the near future, the show will be held next year in Washington instead of New York, because the hall here will be refurbished, so the show will move to Washington for 2 years.
Let me ask you this, right? We have just a minute to go. The appeal to local retailers, because many times the sustenance and the life of the product depends on how we here in the diaspora maintain that, because outside of the major market, the local guy on the street is the one who provides life for that product.
Correct.
Make an appeal to those folks.
I would say that those who are Caribbean, try to buy and try to use our products, because I think it is something that will eventually develop the whole Caribbean region. The income generated out of that, and which policymakers usually lean on to more by supporting the tourism, will not sustain on its own. Food products are something that we from the Caribbean need to identify as to be our culture. It comes out of agriculture, which the word culture itself is part of it, and we should be valuing that and maintain that.
Okay, well, on that point, we're going to end. And one of the things we want to implore the Caribbean export to do is to find some way to facilitate our local retailers as part of the platform for some of these new products, as means of sustenance and life to these products.
Thank you.
Well, this is the end of the program today, and I just want to thank Sam Kruiner, who is a grant advisor for the Caribbean Export Development Agency, but also he was the coordinator of the Fancy Food show at the Jacob Jarvis, the Caribbean Pavilion. You're watching Caribbean Lifestyle TV. Drop us an email at clmtvnyc@gmail.com, or telephone number 914-391-8762. Or, hey, we have a website too, CaribbeanLifestyleTV.com. And you can also catch